Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. Take a deep breath. It's been one of those days. I wish I could have a drink, but I cannot. But that's okay. I'm here to talk about Bitcoin, talk about FTX, talk about Alameda Research, and everything else in between. All right, let's talk about it. I think you guys know what's going on. I did two videos today. A lot of developments, but mostly we saw one of the most horrific drops we have ever seen, and now we are down to 16,100 clinging on, right? So we are now even lower than when Luna collapsed and Three Arrows collapsed and all those other guys that collapsed, right? That brought us to like 17,000. So we're actually lower than even that point. That's how fearful people are right now because of this whole FTX situation. Could not have come at a worse time. While we're heading into the last 2 months of this year, Bitcoin was forming a good momentum. It was rising up. We were above 21,000 and bam, we're 5,000 points lower because of FTX, because of their shenanigans. The mighty has fallen and has fallen very, very hard. Okay, so in addition to Bitcoin, which is down a staggering 12% today, ETH is down 13%. BNB even down 15%, XRP down 13%. I mean, you could see no one's winning today. No one is winning today. Okay, so what has happened? I think most of you guys know, but I'm going to repeat some of the stuff I said today. This afternoon, 3 p.m., came out. Binance said, no, we cannot go through with this acquisition. Why? Well, they stated, and some of these things are very concerning, okay? Mishandled customer funds. SBF said he didn't do that. He said he didn't play with customers' funds. All assets one-to-one backed. There's no problems. Everyone could get to withdraw, right? What happened to that? Well, that seems to have gone out the window. So they have mishandled customer funds, at least according to Binance. Also, U.S. agency investigations, okay? I think that's probably the biggest reason why Binance doesn't want to buy FTX, because of these investigations. CZ said, sad day, tried, but failed. Or crying emoji, whatever it is, right? Who are those agencies? Every single one. SEC, CFTC, right? Also, the Department of Justice. Every single agency is now looking at how FTX collapsed. They're going to look at everything. Okay, even though FTX.us and FTX.com are supposedly two separate entities, but I'm going to show you why it's really not. Even though they said it's two separate entities, no, it's connected. So that's why all the agencies are looking at it, and that is why I'm pretty sure this is the main deterrent for Binance. They don't want to be investigated. They know already. I read the letter from CZ earlier today where he's like, we're going to have a big target on our back now because we're going to be perceived as the biggest exchange, which they are. But before, FTX was throwing their name around left and right, so everyone thought FTX was the biggest. No. But Binance is going to be a big target for all regulators going forward. Okay, they are far and beyond every other exchange out there. So that's why they probably don't want the heat, and this is why they pulled out. Okay? Now, I said there's a connection between FTX.us and FTX. They're supposed to be separate entities, right? But they're not, because Alameda Research took out, withdrew $37 million of wrapped Bitcoin off FTX.us. So, you know, if they weren't one entity, they're two, right? There still seems to be some kind of connection. Okay, I know FTX.us still has withdrawals open, and Alameda could have deposited and now they withdrew. I know that. But still, you know, the fact that they could just take out 37 million, what else is left, right? We don't know. So obviously, Alameda, FTX, they're all panicking, trying to recoup funds. You know, I still question the sell-off, right? We know for months upon months, last 6 months, retail investors pretty much left. Retail investors left. We're left with long-term holders, right? It just seems odd to me that long-term holders are all now panic selling. Long-term holders have been through it and been buying, DCAing. Seems to me there's something else going on, and it could be because a lot of assets are being sold off by Alameda or FTX or SFBF, you know. There has to be something to it. We just don't know, but I'm pretty sure in the coming weeks, we're going to figure it out. Internet detectives will figure it out because there's just so much sell pressure. So much. Doesn't quite add up, but you know what? Like I said, we'll figure it out, right? And we did get warnings before, and I've covered these. I should have been more adamant about giving you guys like a red flag warning, right? But the thing is, it's hard to do that. I did cover a couple of these reports. For example, Alameda Research had co-CEOs. Caroline, she's probably been, you know, let out the door by now. But previously, there was another guy, Sam, who stepped down only a few months ago. The official excuse was to relax, but maybe he knew better. Maybe he knew something was up and he didn't like it, right? Remember, CoinDesk was snuck secretly a balance sheet of Alameda Research, right? And that came right after this step down. So maybe Sam was the person that leaked it to CoinDesk. We don't know. I'm just speculating, right? But when you hear about this and then you hear about FTX, the US president also stepping down, right? These are red flags. And I pointed it out. And I told you guys I didn't like some of the stuff that was happening with FTX too before. But you know, you can't just like shout from a rooftop saying, hey, watch out, FTX will go down, because then everyone's going to accuse you of FUD. But I did point these things out. And next time going forward, if I do see it, I'm going to hammer it more. Like, be careful, right? With these big projects, ones that seem like they cannot fall because they're so big, right? In reality, they can. Everyone could fall. A bank run is scary. It could happen at any time. So we did get warnings. We did get warnings before, but going back to now, you could see Alameda Research website says private. They have taken it down, right? They actually found the time to take it down. As if it's going to do anything. Who cares if you leave it up? Ventures.ftx.com, also taken down. At least FTX.com is not taken down, but you know what? Even up doesn't matter because you can't withdraw. You can't do anything with it anyways. But, you know, I just found it funny that they actually took the time to take sites down. It's not going to mean anything. It's not like anyone's going to be going to AlamadaResearch.com and calling up, hey, I want you guys to invest in my project, or I want to invest you. It's not like anyone's going to be doing that right now. But anyways, I just thought that was funny. Chainlink says all the price feeds that was pulling from FTX, they were a data source removed. Okay, so that's good. But I'm pretty sure there was some discrepancies, and that's why they took action. So that's pretty good. And also Nexo, which is a centralized lending project out of Europe, they dodged a huge bullet because they withdrew $219 million just days before the withdrawal stopped. And I saw something and I covered it with you guys. So they really dodged a bullet, right? It could have been worse. Had they waited just one more day and they couldn't get it back, they could be the next one in trouble and becoming insolvent and saying that they're going to go bankrupt, right? So they just, in the nick of time, pulled out. But still, that shows you how vulnerable some of these companies are. Nexo was pretty cocky back in the day. they immediately said, oh, we're going to buy Celsius. And, they were throwing some stuff around. They gave them like a 7-day period. They said they were going to buy Voyager. I think they ended up buying Vault, but still, they were acting a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant, right? And imagine if they just waited one more day, they would be out of business too. I don't think they'll be able to recover $219 million. So just think about that. This is why you got to be careful with your own crypto, especially now. And that's why, like something like Nexo, which is the sole like lending company that's left, right? You gotta be careful. You gotta safeguard your own crypto. Okay. So moving on, what about Solana? I already covered about Solana. Caught in the crossfires. Of course, it's dumping like mad. It dumped like 40% today. Everything dumped, but they're dumping like crazy. And I did warn you guys in an earlier video, there's about $1 billion, a little bit less than $1 billion, that is waiting to be unstaked when the next epoch hits. And that is approximately 5 hours and 34 minutes. Okay? So most people that are unlocking are not doing it just for the hell of it. They're doing it because they plan on selling. So there could be tremendous sell pressure that's coming to Solana. Okay? But I've been saying it's not Solana's fault, right? They just happen to be very well liked by Sam Bankman-Fried, and they have a ton of SOL tokens, right? But Solana is a thriving L1. They have their issues with network outages, but still, they just had a huge conference that just ended days ago. You had thousands of people attending, looking at everything that's going on within Solana, right? But here's the irony of it, and I think they caught it too. They said, yeah, Solana conference, right? You know what that Solana conference was called? Can you guess? No, it's not called SBF, but it was called Breakpoint. I just have to laugh at that. Out of all the names they could have chosen, they chose Breakpoint for the conference name, which just ended 2 days ago. So I think Solana did hit that break point, and I'm not referring to the conference. But, like I said, they're caught in the middle of this, right? They're not official FTX chain. They are their own L1, but, unfortunately, this is the situation, and even Crypto.com said that they're halting Solana, USDC, and USDT deposits because they just want to be sure. They don't want to be caught in the middle of this, right? There may be more stuff that's happening. So there's that. As for other exchanges, everyone is rushing to come out with something called proof of reserves. So they're all going to release how much reserves they actually have because everyone is freaking out about centralized exchanges. OKX, KuCoin said they would do so. Along with Kraken, BitMEXC, Gate.io, everyone is coming out. But it'll be ready in a month. So it's going to take a while. Does it really take a month for them to come out with a sheet of their reserves? I think they already know. They could generate it immediately. So I don't know why it's taking a month. And, the thing is, if they're coming out with their own reserves, can you really trust it? We don't know, right? We're just taking their word for it. But they could fudge the numbers all they want and no one really knows. Crypto.com is saying that they will be also sharing their proof of reserves. Gate.io said they're doing it. I mean, everyone is doing it at this point. Basically, everyone is trying to calm people down, saying that they're legit. They're not insolvent. They're not like FTX, right? But we know that FTX has FTT tokens everywhere. In a lot of exchanges do trade FTT. A lot of DEXs too. And also even stable coins. Like there's one called Abracadabra that actually has a ton of FTT tokens. So, this is very far reaching. We don't know where it ends at this point, okay? FTX didn't officially declare bankruptcy. There's rumors swirling around that they will, right? So we still have to wait for that. But in the meantime, so much fear, so much selling. I don't know where it's coming from. Honestly, I don't know if it's FTX or Alameda selling themselves or what. But I've been telling you guys, stay strong, stay focused. It's scary, right? But those of you guys that wish for cheaper prices so you could DCA, here's your opportunity. And also think about this. Think about this. All the scary times that we had before, every single one, they were great buying opportunities then. But most people were too fearful, thinking that it was going to go lower, it was going to go lower and lower, right? Everything that we have built up to this point does not go away just because we have one bad actor, right? We lived through Luna, we lived through ITrustCapital, we lived through Voyager and Celsius, and we're going to live through FTX too. It's just going to take some time. Like I said at the beginning, it's unfortunate that this has happened, but you know what? Bitcoin will find a way, and Bitcoin will continue forward, okay? So don't give up hope, my friends. Bitcoin will pull through this. It's just that there's a lot of hurdles, a lot of headwinds, like I like saying. Now there's one big event tomorrow that has nothing to do with FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried, or maybe it does, and I don't know about it. Tomorrow we will get a CPI data report, so I will be covering this tomorrow morning. In the U.S., we will get our latest inflation number that will read inflation for October. Okay? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? There's two things that's being measured. One is overall CPI, which is overall inflation, which should go down. For the last 2 months, overall inflation actually went down. So we're about like 8.1% right now. Something like that, 8.1, 8.2. But core inflation for the last 2 months has been going up, but last month has slowed down. So if we see something good tomorrow, we see core inflation stop going up or going up just very little and overall inflation going down, that could send the markets rallying, because today U.S. markets also took an absolute dump. Just like the crypto market, the U.S. market, look at it, everything's down today. Everything is down today, right? So tomorrow, if inflation comes out good, maybe we get a decent rally and we could boost ourselves back up. But that is coming tomorrow. But of course, the opposite could happen. If we get horrible inflation numbers tomorrow, the markets will dump. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So we will see. We will see. All right, like I said, my friends, stay strong, stay focused. It's an unfortunate situation, but you know what? Just think about it as a weeding out process. The bad actors getting weeded out. The good actors are here to stay. Also think about it that it's just a great time to DCA and you got presented a gift. Best ways to think about it. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see. Is Soul Classic coming? You think Justin's serious about his FTX plans? Justin who? You better not be referring to Justin's son. Did I sell my soul? No. I still hold it. There's always fudders that say, oh, George is bashing Solana because he sold his bag. No. I stuck with my bag. I do regret sticking with that bag. I told you guys a few days ago when Solana was still above 30, like 31, 32, I'm like, you know what? I have a small bag. It's sizable, but small and not my biggest holding. I'm like, I'm going to stick it out and see what happens, right? And I'm rewarded with a 50% drop. So, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, but I truly believe that Solana, still has a chance to recover, but they have been tarnished badly by this. There's a lot of people that's very fearful about Solana, especially that unlock, right? So it may be a while, maybe a long, long while before they recover, but you know what? They still have a chance. They still have a chance. CPI tomorrow, I just mentioned it. Will Binance be around? You know, I was just talking with my wife about Binance, okay? If Binance collapsed, it would be equivalent of the Federal Reserve collapsing. That would be the devastation, okay? So think about it. If the Federal Reserve went bankrupt and collapsed in the U.S., think about the devastation it would bring. That would be the equivalency if Binance collapsed. Because they are so big, their money is spread out everywhere. Their BNB token is in every single exchange. They hold the largest amount of stable coins, USDT, USDC, BUSD, everything. If Binance ever went under, it would probably halt the entire space for a very long time. But don't think it's going to happen. But, you know, just throwing that out there. Noah, I would consider myself a medium to long-term holder. I've been through up and downs from China miner exodus, COVID, wrecked members, Luna, now this. Find it hard to believe people like me are selling. This is all FTX, IMO. See, that's why I'm thinking too. We know the last 6 months weeded out all the weak hands already. Only strong hands left. So it's just, I find it hard to believe that all these strong hands all of a sudden turn weak hands. I honestly think this is something else. There's something else going on behind the scenes. Hold on. I'm out of order here. All right. Zach, Binance is just too big. Don't shoot an elephant with a feather. SBF needs some milk. Okay. Okay. Would you say this should be the nail in the coffin for shitcoins? I don't know about that. If you're a Bitcoin maxi, you're going to say there's thousands more, okay? This has nothing to do with FTT or shitcoins. This has to do with mismanagement and mishandling users' assets. That's what it comes down to. If FTX had a bank run, but they didn't mess around with users' assets, then they could just allow the withdrawals one for one, like he said, right? But the fact that he can't, and the fact that Binance looked at it and said, oh, it's horrible, tells you something. So someone's lying. Honda car guy, H-bar. I don't have anything good or bad to say. I think it's just an interesting project. Marcus, shout out to you. You're the only YouTuber I know that expressed his concerns months ago that suspect moves SBF's making. Yeah, thank you. And, you know, I wish I was more adamant about it. But, you know, then again, if you're, like, so adamant about something and you do it too early, people will say, oh, you're just a fudster and you have your own agenda and you can't, you know, you're pushing your own bags and stuff like that. You always have people that do that, right? So... but in the future, I'm going to push harder. But I have mentioned many questionable things about FTX, even other projects, Solana and others, right? Take a look. Glassnode breaks down video about FTX situations. Eye-opening. Actually began when Alameda when Terra collapsed and FTX needed to loan generate FTT. You know, Scooby-Doo, I mentioned that yesterday, and I don't take credit for it. I saw someone post it on Twitter, but it made a lot of sense. When Luna collapsed, so many projects got decimated because they were holding on a ton of Luna tokens. So Alameda could have been one of them. And if they were deep in the hole, how do you plug that hole? Well, if you have the ability to create your own tokens, why not, right? So that's where I think... you know, FTX just created more FTT tokens and gave it to Alameda and then to plug their balance sheet. But unfortunately, over the course of 2022, they did not find a way to patch that up, right? But, you know, you would never know it because Sam Bankman-Fried was throwing money left and right everywhere. So you thought he was full of cash, but it just turned out it's because he had so much FTT tokens. So he was figuring, hey, you know what? I have endless FTT. He was like the Federal Reserve. He could just print as money as he wants until it got leaked that they're not backed by anything and they're deep in the hole. And plus, now there's more stuff coming out. Let's see what else I missed. 143 Vanessa. I don't know what that means, Robert. I got my Ledger Nano X from Lazaro. I struggled beginning with it, but man, fees are crazy to transfer funds. That's usually how it is. That's not ledgers. That's just how network fees are. Usually, what the good thing about crypto exchanges, they usually cover all the fees, so you don't see it. But sometimes they still list it out. But when you're dealing with your own wallet and chains and stuff like that, not only are there fees to worry about, you got to worry about gas fees or having enough to pay for gas fees. SBF is in deep. I don't know. He's in a deep hole. Let's just say, SEC, CFTC, Department of Justice, maybe even the U.S. Treasury Department. Everyone is going after investigating this, right? I think SBF is in the Bahamas. So I don't think he's anywhere else. I don't think he's on the run with Do Kwon right now. Cobra Kai, no. The gas fees in Trust Wallet is not Trust tokens. It's whatever that you're sending. For example, if you're sending ETH, you need to have ETH to pay for gas fees. It's really it's dependent on the chain that you're using, basically. Man, I missed a lot here. Have you seen Near's new roadmap? No, I have not. Today's kind of like not one of those days to be looking at it. Should we stick with the top 10 for buying dip? Yeah, for me, whenever I've been DCAing, it's been in like the big caps. A little bit outside of big caps. There's a few projects I like are outside of big caps, for example, like VeChain and Phantom, and a few others that I've mentioned before that are out of the big caps. But right now, I would say that the strength is in the big caps, right? Ruben, and you can never go wrong with Bitcoin. Let's just put it that way. Ruben, appreciate it. Let's see. I still have my bag of pack coins. Austin, hey, appreciate that. Just Wes. Thanks, Sam Bankman Clown, for these discount days. Well, that's a great way to look at it. Discounts. So, George, if you had 65 Sol staking right now, would you unstake and sell it to purge or buy back, or do you hold all? I mean, I can't tell you what to do, man. I can't tell you what to do. I just think that a lot of people are unstaking right now, close to 1 billion, and they don't plan on holding. So, but you know what? Things could still recover for Solana. It may take a while, but things can still recover. So it just depends on what you want to do. SBF got Tom Brady divorced. I don't know about that. Okay, we can't blame SBF on that. Why the mini pump now? Because we're having a George effect. Whenever I stream, it seems like we have a George effect and Bitcoin goes up. As soon as I'm done, it comes back down. It's been happening for a while. But I'll take it. While we're streaming, things tend to go up. Let's see. Black Swan event from Christopher. FTX election. Tomorrow CPI. Yeah, tomorrow CPI is going to be a big day. It's going to be a big, big day. Star-Lord, hello. You wouldn't buy a stock that was lower than its price 5 years ago. Why would you buy Bitcoin? Well, first of all, a lot of stocks, okay? Stocks, well, first of all, let's just start over. Stocks and Bitcoin are two different things, okay? So let's get that out of the way. Second of all, Bitcoin is still immature, right? It seems like it's big, but it's still immature space. It's a new space. It's an emerging space, along with everything else that's out there. So people are, of course, getting into the next thing, right? Just like when the internet started, why would you not want to invest in the early days? At the early days, no one wanted to. But in hindsight, why would you not want to invest when things are early and young? Another example is Amazon. Amazon has crashed 90+% before. Did it recover? Yes. Did Apple fall down before? Apple went into bankruptcy before. They ousted their leader, Steve Jobs, and they came back, and they are the biggest company on earth. So just because a company goes down does not mean they can't come up and recover. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a set supply, unlike stocks, unlike anything else out there on earth. As a set supply commanded by code, it's the safest network out there and allows you to send Bitcoin anywhere in the world within minutes, and no one can stop it. And there's no other network out there outside of crypto or blockchains that can do that. So, and that's just Bitcoin. And there's so many other things out there. So Crab King, that's the reasons why. CPI is manipulated. Well, if it's manipulated, I'm hoping it's manipulated in the right way tomorrow, meaning inflation will go down and we get a good pump. That's, at least we can, we'll take that. There's a lot of talk about how much Brady and Gazelle invested. People are saying $650 million. I doubt they did that. I bet they put no more than like $5 million. Okay, and on the grand scheme of things for them, that's nothing. But all these reports that they put their entire life savings into FTX, that's BS. I just don't see that. No, today is DCA day. Oh my God. Terry LA says, lost everything after moving all assets to FTX. Thanks for your videos, but this is the end of my crypto career or crypto journey. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I really hope that's not the case. Even if you need to get out now, I hope you come back later. But this is what happens when you put all of your assets or all of your eggs in one basket. No matter how big an exchange seems like, and I could even point to Binance, even as big as they are, even if they are the Federal Reserve of crypto, you never know what may happen. So you want to protect yourself, right? That's why you don't want to leave all your assets on a centralized exchange. If you want to leave some on there because you want to trade all the time, fine. But leave a lot of it off just in case. So unfortunately, that's a tough lesson to learn, but hopefully you will come back someday. All right, as for DC, I already have that pulled up. Coin stats here, not looking good. Last week, we made some headway. I was checking and we were down. I was like negative 42%. Then during last week, we're like in the negative 30%. I'm like, man, things are looking good. And now we go down another 10%. So unfortunately, a little setback. But you know what? That's what DCA is all about. Keep doing it, $100 every single week, and we will see where this ends up. And I'm going to prove to you guys that DCA works. But okay, so as for today, I got to put $100. Really, you can't lose with anything. I mean, you could put in anything, right? You know, it would be really, really risky to DCA into Solana right now. So I'm not going to do that. But it's actually a smart play because it went down so much. But I'm really afraid of that unlock that's happening in 5 hours. I do think that's going to probably drive it down even more. So I'm not going to be doing that. But everything else sold off so much, like you really can't go wrong with any of them. So I'm just going to stick with the basics. I'm going to go with the top 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon. And I'm just going to put $33 in each one. So that'll be the easiest way to do it. So let's start with Polygon. Let's do $33. So 33 divided by 0.8846. It's about 37.3. Okay, and then let's add Ethereum. So 30 to 33, oops, 166. About 0.0258. And lastly, let's add some Bitcoin. Oops. 3, 2, 3. And no, I'm not using a calculator. It's all Asian math right here. All right, there we go. All right, so $100, $33 in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Polygon. But really, you can't go wrong with any of the big caps like BNB, like, you know, with Binance, Cardano, Cosmos, VeChain, Avalanche, Chainlink, Phantom, Polkadot, Cadena, Near. You could throw some meme coins in there like Doge and Sheep. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. Even the people's currency, XRP. With everything down so much, great buying opportunity. All right. $33 in cans of tuna. I actually have a lot of tuna. Technically, if SBF sells all of his sold, then it's probably going to drop under $1. You know, at like a few days ago, Alameda Research held about $1 billion worth of Solana. So, and there's about $1 billion that's left to be unlocked, right? So if that $1 billion out of $5 billion, so you're talking about 20% could be unlocked in 5 hours and sold, all right? Speculating here. There's no guarantee that all of it's going to be sold. Some people may change their mind and think, hey, why would I sell now after it dumps 50-something%? Maybe they change their mind. But if Alameda has $1 billion and they're desperate to sell, well, they will sell. And that's 20% right there. So you look at 20% plus another 20% that's unlocking. That's 40% right there. That's a huge chunk that could be sold. So if you're selling 40% of a token of the overall supply, can it drop it another half or more? Can Solana drop back down to $7 or $8 if 40% of the supply is sold? You betcha. Yeah, you know, I had a Patreon member that actually shared some interesting information about why he thinks Helium moved to Solana. So they're kind of screwed right now. I think they probably wish they didn't. But A16Z, which is a big VC firm, very, very invested in Solana, just like FTX, and they're very invested in Helium too. So they may have been the ones to kind of push them into Solana. So a lot of projects that are on Solana now have to make a choice. Do we stick it out with the bad press, right, and just hope that we get through it, or do we need to move to another chain? I'm thinking that a lot of them will stick through it. I mean, Solana itself is not like Luna. Solana itself didn't collapse due to some stable coin de-pegging themselves. No, they're just caught in the crossfire. So, I mean, I'm still clinging on hope that they will survive and they will recover one day, but it just may take a while. Can't unstake Sol on Exodus. You got to wait for the epoch to happen, which is 5 hours. So Harmony is super low on fees. They are, except they just had that hack too, the 100 million hack, and their biggest DeFi project, DeFi Kingdoms, moved away. So those two things got me off the Harmony bandwagon. The chances of V-shaped recovery versus a dead cat bounce. Well, right now, okay? Right now, the good thing is there's probably a lot of shorts being piled on right now because a lot of greedy people think, well, you know what, Bitcoin's going to fall to wherever, I'm going to pile on the shorts. And whenever that happens, you can have a good short squeeze come at any time, right? For example, tomorrow. Tomorrow, CPI data turned out to be good. Entire markets rally. We get some good buying again with Bitcoin. You get the short squeezes. Maybe we pump right back up to 17, 18, or 19,000 tomorrow. It has happened before. We have seen it before. So don't rule it out. But, you know, it could happen. People who play with leverage, they like to be wrecked, I guess. Solend secret wallet with SBF. Are you sure? Is that true? HND down 95. Did they go down a lot today? Yeah, they're down 11% today, like everything else. But overall, they you know, their move to Solana was not welcomed, and then they were gonna come out with a new token and just change their whole concept. But I mean, I love the project. I love what they do. They're involved with, you know, creating mesh network, internet network, and 5G network, utilizing phone, and they're partnered up with Solana, and they will go, you know, give Solana phone holders ability to use their network, right? They're partnered up with T-Mobile. You know, I like the project. It's just now, you know, being on Solana, that's going to hurt them for a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It doesn't hurt them at all, and they continue to do great things. Tom Dan, appreciate it. Short squeeze and manipulation. No, it's not. No, it's not. Well, it depends on who does it. If you just have a whole bunch of people that's buying longs because they believe in it and it causes a short squeeze, that's not manipulation. That's just because people think that prices are low and they want to buy. But if you have an exchange or some big whale doing it, yeah, that's a different story. What do you think about Justin Sun at FTX? Whatever, I don't know what Justin said. If he's promising to save FTX, whatever Justin says or does, stay far away from it because I do not trust that guy. I became a whole coiner today with this sale. Chuck Finger, congratulations. That's a great accomplishment. Trend Ripper Scalper. Serious question. Are you in favor of CZ growing this big? I could see how that's very concerning, right? Because FTX was making all the moves, and it seemed like they want to become BlackRock of crypto. And now you have Binance, who was arguably already BlackRock of crypto, but just behind the scenes, right? They are even bigger now. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted by that. Number one is I think CZ has proven himself over the years to be trustworthy, even though Binance is not perfect. They're not perfect at all, and they have been hacked before. But CZ over the years have really shown that he's a trustworthy guy, whether you believe it or not. But he's been very transparent about everything. Whenever anything bad happens, he's like the first one to report it. He's always trying to encourage people, and you don't see him make moves like FTX did. You don't see him trying to say, hey, we're going to go buy Voyager, we're going to buy Celsius, we're going to buy Robinhood, we're going to buy BlockFi, we're going to buy Liquid, we're going to buy Blockfolio, we're going to buy every single company out there. Binance has the money to do it, but you don't see him do that. you don't see him making the same moves. It just seems like CZ is just a smarter, more calculated guy. And maybe we'll come to regret that one day because he's too calculated and too smart. But as of right now, I trust him. But with that said, doesn't mean that you have to trust having all your assets on Binance. No, there's still plenty of exchanges out there. There's plenty of DEXs out there. And I still advocate that everyone should protect their own crypto, right? Because if a bank run ever happened on Binance, the same thing will happen. Bank run happens very fast, very ferociously. So it can happen to Binance too. So you still have to safeguard your own crypto no matter what. You think Solana will rebound to all-time high in the future? It could happen, but I think it's going to take a long time. Long time. Okay, stop saying Twitter alert, SBF, and Justin, whatever. It doesn't matter what Justin says. You can't trust the guy. He has made all the shady moves in the past. I'm surprised that nothing has collapsed under his watch. So, yeah. Staying far, far away from any projects he invests in. American Bionic, appreciate it. Do they have withdrawal wait times for recent deposits? For who? Binance? I don't know. I can't use Binance.com because it's overseas and I'm in the U.S. But I do use Binance.us. Can FTX pull out this mess? Not unless you get a huge cash injection. Last time I saw the estimates are like up to 10 billion. So I don't know. Maybe Justin Sun is gonna give them $10 billion and they can pull out. I don't know. But hey, we're getting some movement, a little movement here. So we fell down to 15.6. Some people have called, hey, we're going to hit 15K first before we rally. Well, maybe they're right. Maybe that's what was needed. But I don't think anyone predicted that FTX was going to go under like this on the dot and so fast. Let's refresh here. Where is FTT? Oof, they're down to $2.36. Yeah. I mean, just look at that drop off. There's still 325 million market cap. What rank are they? 91. They're still in the top 100. You've seen CZ's Twitter reply recently. It's weird. I just showed one. No, not that one. This one, sad day, tried. Was there another one? Why is that weird? That's not weird. All right, since there's so many people mentioned about Justin Sun here, let's see. My avert further deterioration. I have faith. Stay tuned. Okay. This is 45 minutes. Announcement to stand behind Ultron holders on FTX. We're putting a solution together to FTX. Okay, that's not saying that they're gonna buy him. This is him trying to do damage control because all these Tron tokens. Their main token, BitTorrent token, I don't know whether it's the Sun token and these two others, they were all on FTX. So basically, he's trying to reassure people that lost money on FTX. But this is not an indication that he's buying FTX. So if anyone thinks that this has anything to do with him buying FTX, I think you're misunderstanding what he's saying here. Serge says Solana is going to recover. I know this because my company I work for is building a platform on it for sending money. I don't know if that. Okay. I don't know what company you work for. That sounds great. I don't know if that means that Solana is going to recover. Good time to stock up on Ethereum right now. I don't doubt that. Let's see. Sam Bankman-Fried. He just retweeted it. I don't see SBF saying anything. He just retweeted that. Yeah, he didn't say anything else. Thoughts on Arbitrum? It's okay. I don't have really thoughts on it. A lot of layer 2s like that. There's just so many. And you know, I like sticking with the big ones that I know of, like Polygon, for example. Arbitrum and Optimism, they're up and coming, but there's really nothing that really stands out. Yeah, someone mentioned, and I saw that this morning, USDD, which is the stablecoin for Tron, has depegged. This has happened before. Luckily, though, the market cap is still relatively small. But if this is bigger, it'll be very concerning. But overall, it's still concerning that this is under $1. Okay, this was created mimicking UST. Justin Sun was a little jealous of Do Kwon, and he did not like how he upped him in any way. So he created a stablecoin to mimic, you know, the same kind of algorithmic kind of thing that's backed by I don't know what collateral they use, but anyways, it's an algorithmic stablecoin, and I don't know if it's gonna do well. Right now, it's looking like it's not pegged to $1 as it should be. But again, that's why I go back to Justin. I just don't trust anything he does. Should I DCA into SBF token? I hope you're joking. Quant versus Atom, they really don't compete with each other. Quant is B2B. Atom is B2C. They both offer interoperability, I'll give you that. But one is catering to businesses, helping them create dApps that can access different kind of chains, while Atom is offering projects the ability to create and develop on top of a chain that also can communicate with other chains. So it's really like one is like B2B, one is B2C. Alameda has a huge stake in Near. Be careful, they put $1 billion in a seed round. Oh, thanks for sharing. I knew Near had a lot of investors. I didn't know that Alameda was. Let's look at that. Near. This was 2022. Near raises $150 million from 3. I have to laugh at that because it was led, that round was led by CryptosRUs, which of course is done. Alameda is done. What else is in here? Hopefully nothing else is done. A16, which is very invested in Solana. Maybe they're hurting right now. But yeah, so that's not good. 2 out of the 10 is now bankrupt. I don't know how much they invested. I'm neutral on Stellar because I don't know what their future plans are. It could be because they want, I don't know, they're doing a couple things. They want to get into stable coins, and also they want to do dApps. They also want to get into EVM compatibility and create dApps. So there are a couple things. I don't see them really succeeding in any one category. They're kind of just like jack of all trades, master of none. That's kind of how I see them. So we will see. We will see. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, you know what? Bitcoin got rocked, but it's coming back a little bit. And we know the reason why it got rocked because of SBF, FTX, Alameda situation seems to be getting worse. Binance pulled out. They're getting investigated. You know, it's just not a good situation. But like I've been saying, focus on the future. Do not get swayed off your path. We have bad actors, unfortunately. And the good thing is they're being weeded out. And once they're all done, what you're left are the good actors and the holders and the ones that will continue to DCA over time. So don't give up. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care. Bye-bye.